And we are live.
Welcome, everybody. We're gathering around the metaphysical table tonight here on the Gathering Paracast for our paranormal smorgasbord. Hey, you
Yes.
guys.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Hi,
Yeah.
Stephanie.
Hi, welcome in. It's been a couple weeks. We had last week off because of the holiday. So our paranormal smorgasbord edition was pushed just an extra week out, but that is way cool, right?
We'll call it middle of the month smorgasbord.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Sounds good.
Exactly. So how are you both? Good?
Good, good. Did
Good.
you? We had a really fun holiday weekend over here and got to blow some stuff up in the woods and make some music and yeah, all that fun, Labor Day
Yeah,
stuff.
I
So
know. I know. Yeah, and I was traveling. I traveled across the country, so that was fun. It was fun to do a road trip. Crazy talk. It was fun to see different places. But yeah, Heidi, what about you?
We just got back from a retreat that we were running up north in Grand Marais, which was wonderful. So that was our, we bumped our travel weekend out a month or a week and did that instead. And it was fantastic. And they want us to come back for a midsummer retreat next year. So I'm
oh,
excited for that.
That's a ways away. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got to plan the dates because they fill up so fast. We've
oh
Yeah.
got so
yeah,
many weekends
Yep.
next year already booked.
Yeah.
really.
And
Mhm.
that is
How,
the truth for
how
sure.
many days was that? Was that a single day or a multi-day event?
3 days, Friday, Saturday,
Nice.
Sunday.
That's a lot
Mhm.
of planning.
Yeah. That's why we have to look at days this far out. I've got like my women's circle, I have dates already booked for next year. I've got 2 other retreats already booked for next year, so it's important to get these things looked at well in advance so that calendars can be made.
Mm-hmm. 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 And that is the truth.
Yep.
Now you have a book coming out now, don't you? Or is it out
Yeah.
now?
It is out officially. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. And yeah, there it is. My Spirit Experience, true stories and lessons from the in between. And it's my first full book. So I'm
Mhm.
super excited about that. And yeah, it just came out a week and a half ago. So um
How
ever
long have you been how long have you been working on that?
oh, this is embarrassing. It's been like 10 years. And I stopped doing it for a long time
Mhm.
because I got frustrated and I didn't know what I was doing. And then I wrote a couple of collaborative books that I think you guys know about. And I did a chapter in each of those books and that helped me get the flow and the rhythm going again. And so then that second book came out in March of this year, and I was able to finish mine and get it out within a few months. So the 10 years thing was most of it was non-functioning.
I find that very I find that very encouraging because I've got a couple of projects that of writing projects that I started and got frustrated with and a lot of times I'm like, man, that would have been a good weekend to give some time into that. And I'd like to re-pull those up because sometimes you get into a different place to where maybe you can get something finished or catch a flow.
Yeah, yeah, the flow is what if you can find it somewhere, whether it's something similar or not, just something you enjoy and you can get that rhythm going again, then you'll wanna make space for whatever it is that you wanna finish. So, I say give it a go. Give it a try to get back into your projects and see if you can get them going again. And then once you get that rhythm going, it's easy to try and set aside time to get them
Hmm.
done.
Hmm. And I think a lot of times too, we convince ourselves that we can't do it, and so we
Yeah.
kind of put it off and yeah, yeah. But I
Yeah.
think you,
It's definitely a mental thing.
especially getting that first one out of the way, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I did start writing my next one. So here's hoping it won't be 10 years.
That let's
Well,
hope, let's hope.
you just never know.
And
So
what was your travels over the weekend, Stephanie?
Well, I moved my daughter out to our home in San Juan Island, Washington State, the Pacific Northwest. So we drove all across the northern United States from Minnesota. So we went through North Dakota, Montana, the panhandle of Iowa or Idaho, and then all of Washington. Beautiful country. I know. We were in a kind of a hurry, so we didn't have time to stop in a lot of different places. But for sure, there are a couple of places I would go back to. I think Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt is a Minneapolis guy, but Theodore Roosevelt painted canyons up in western North Dakota are spectacularly beautiful. They are amazing. There are buffalo running in there. I actually harvested a little sage in there, and Jerry quickly told me that is a no. We do not pick sage on sacred grounds. And I'm like, but it was right there by the road, by where I had to. It wasn't like I went to look for it. It was just there. And I'm like, what a better place to just have some really sacred stuff for really powerful things that you need it for. And it wasn't much, not much, just something for special things. And then that's beautiful. I would love to go back and spend some time there. And then, the Cascade Mountains are just beautiful. The Wenatchee Forest, which is up in the Cascades. So it's not the Rockies anymore. So in between the Rockies and the Cascades, there's, some kind of high plains. Spokane is there, and then the mountains start again, and it's the Cascades, and the Wenatchee Forest is up in that area. And it is just spectacularly beautiful. And we were in a river. I didn't go swimming. I went up to my knees. Casey's dog was like, man, she just didn't even wait for us. She was in there in no time. And it was so clear. And I know somebody came and said, I think you can drink this. And I'm like, oh, I don't think I'm going to do that. But I mean, maybe, I guess, I don't know. It was so high up in the mountains that it's possible that it could be okay to drink. But beautiful. I would like to spend some time up there. And we had just went through a town called Leavenworth it's like a Swiss town up in the Alps, but it's, this little town up in the Cascades, just beautiful. And it's all got that all Swiss architecture, German architecture. And we wanted to look around, but it was 102 degrees out, and it was a little too warm.
Yeah, that's a bit warm.
Yeah. So we didn't stay, but we'll go back. Maybe sometime when I go out to see Casey, maybe we can just drive up there because it's, probably 5 hours. Well, not including ferry time, but yeah, so just gorgeous. It was fun. It was really fun. And of course, it was wonderful to get back on the island. We saw the residents. Toki's family actually were there, and they haven't seen him since the springtime, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. And Deb said it best, Casey, they're welcoming you home. And it's true. Yeah. Toki's 90-something-year-old mama was there too. So it was L-Pod and J-Pod, and they've been kind of hanging around the island this week. So Casey saw him yesterday, and we did see him a couple of times when I was there. So awesome. What a good way to be welcomed home, Yeah. So yeah, it was a good trip. It was a good trip. Exhausting. I know when we got on tonight, I said, I'm exhausted. And, it was just a really long trip, and I've been at work, and it's been super busy at work too. So I'm just like, I just need some time off, time. But how about, all right. So Paranormal Smorgasbord. Yes. Jason, I know you said you wanted to talk a little bit about Bigfoot. I had, of course, when you're out in the Pacific Northwest, that's where all the Bigfoot stories are. But I don't want to talk about that. I had a gal that I know texted me yesterday, and she's the same owner of a property. And I think I've mentioned this on this show before, that it's about 25 miles north of where I live. It's actually very close to our research area, and she's had experiences there. She's had eyewitness accounts, and we've been up at her place. We originally went there for paranormal reasons with the sim crew, but she's got like everything up there, paranormal, cryptids, the whole 9 yards.
You mean this sim crew?
Yeah, my sim crew. But she texted me yesterday and said that her daughter, so she owns a lot of real estate. She's a real estate gal, and they own a cabin way up in the northern realms of Minnesota, way up near the Canadian border. And she said her daughter was up at this cabin, and she said, Steffi, from what it sounded exactly like the same experience Paul and I had. And I'm like, oh, I'd love to talk to her. I haven't had a chance to talk to her yet. But I said, listen, that area, we have been up there. The cryptid chicks have been up there, and it is rife with, Bigfoot energy and sightings. And she said, you go up there. You can go up there. Probably not this year yet because, it gets cold really fast up there and you just can't go now. But in the summer, yes, it's yours for the weekend, whenever you want to go or for a week or whatever. I thought that was very generous, right? I'm like, we're going. We just got to get it on the calendar. But how fun is that? So, yeah, I do have to interview her. I just haven't had a chance.
But is that a pretty remote area then?
It is. I don't think it's as far north as we were last time because we were like way up by the Canadian border last time. And I think this is a little bit south of there, but it's all just wild up there. It's up there, the Ely, Vermilion, all those forests up there. So that was really cool. And it's cool to have a place to go,
Yeah.
A cabin in the woods where they have heard these things, Last time we were up there, we camped, which is awesome too. It's awesome too. But even better to have a roof over your head,
Yeah. That is nice.
Yeah. So and look at you wearing our Sim Crew drinking
That's
with
right.
Squad
That's right.
shirt.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't you love it?
I do. I love it. And so does Tommy Cooper. Yeah.
I figured you guys would like that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, we were very stoked about that.
Sorry, it took so long for me to get it to you. I just kept forgetting. And then I'm like, as I was getting ready to go for the trip, I found them again. And I'm like, okay, post office, here I come, and I went. And, so you got them when I was gone. And that's awesome. I love it.
And it's a nice, roomy T-shirt, too. It fits nice. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. One of our other crew members designed it. So that was cool. We kind of do stuff, we have a bunch of youngies on our crew now. And so it's fun to say, okay, this is what I want. Make something. And she designed, I think, that one with AI,
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We get some cool stuff. Yeah.
Good. This past week we had I was scrolling my Facebook and I followed this photographer, and he started posting some stuff about seeing orbs. And he was kind of distraught or pretty fired up about these orbs. And I was struck by how similar these orbs are to so many that I've come across online. And he's been having lots of these, and he's never been a paranormal guy. He's a photographer out doing nature photography and stuff like that, especially outdoor stuff. And so now he's stumbled onto this, and a lot of times when you first discover this paranormal field, it's really shocking, and he's like, what could this be? And am I crazy? And it's like, well, no, you're not crazy, but you're also not going to get a lot of concrete answers. You're going to get a lot of what ifs. Welcome to paranormal. And so I wanted to show you guys that these that he came up with, and then also show you some of the ones that we have on file. So this was the original post, and I show the post, and then the orb kind of blown up a little.
Oh, and where was he? This was outside?
Yes. Yeah. And this is in Shippenville, which is a little south of where we're at, Shippenville, Pennsylvania. And you see this got like that weird texture to it. And that's a very similar one to what, do you remember Jay Fouch? We interviewed him for He Said, She Said. He's had lots of them, but he had a really cool daylight one, and you could really see that weird texture. And way back when, the Strange Kinzu folks, Denny Vigalo, he hooked me up with this orb video. I don't know any of the background of it. The file, when he gave it to me, it was really weird, and I had to come up with some way to like format this. It was kind of an ancient thing. technology wise. So when I say
Yeah.
ancient, probably from
Yeah.
the 90s, you
Yeah.
know. But check this out, and then compare this, the texture, the surface texture of this to what was almost visible in Will Porter's. So here we go. And you see it's got that almost
Yeah.
almost like a puffball
Prickly.
mushroom
Yeah.
or a weird golf ball or
Mhm.
something.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And when I was in Cryptovania this afternoon looking for that footage there, I was impressed by how many other orbs were in there that have that same weird texture that you just can't quite put your fingers on, but it looks
Mhm.
like you could almost put your fingers on.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
and it's really odd. Um, and it seems to be, I don't know, more prevalent lately. And maybe it's because more people have cameras and equipment and stuff, and they're pointing it at the skies, at all our interesting things that we got
Mhm.
going on all the time.
Mhm.
So maybe it's more eyes and more video, but man,
Yeah.
it's really strange. And like I go onto UFO Twitter or on or the new X, and you see so many people like videoing these things traveling in the sky and then like changing directions, like with
Mhm.
right
Mhm.
angles and stuff.
Mhm.
Not satellites, not stars, not planets, and but so often that weird texture, like almost
Yeah.
like a puffball mushroom or
Yeah.
something. And so yeah, and it was really interesting seeing that, just from a guy that I follow,
Yeah.
just because he does cool nature and outdoor stuff, and then
Yeah.
and he's just all freaked out about it, because it's like it's kind of shaken his paradigm a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And
I love it.
um,
We like to
yeah,
shake
yeah.
things up.
That's right. That's right. And it was a fun trip going back through all of the
Yeah.
orbs that are collected in there. And that one that Denny gave us, that was our very first Cryptovania episode way back when. And he came to the studio and he brought a laptop and some files and spent some time telling us some crazy stuff.
Mhm.
And we made our very first episode, which was a pretty good episode. It stands on its own pretty well. I like it because he has some really
Very
interesting
cool.
stories. He was the one that told me the Portal Bears story
Mhm.
that I think I referenced like last year sometime because of one of our shows.
Mhm.
And Yeah, but he gave me that. That's from the Strange Kinzu file. It's one of the first. I think that might have been the first video that we ever put
Cool.
on Cryptovania, was that pulsing orb.
I love
And
it.
so
Very
yeah,
different. I don't know that I've
That's
seen
yeah.
one like
cool.
that one before. So that's very cool, I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah, and if you
Um,
if you look into the orb stuff and you blow them up, like
yeah.
there's like a shared
Mhm.
characteristic there.
Mhm.
And so that's been kind of
Yeah.
the high
Cool.
point of my week. Matter of fact, at the same time, there was some congressional hearings this week where
Mhm.
there was some footage about an orb type thing getting hit by
Mhm.
a Hellfire missile, and it deflects the missile, and then you can see like three little things that trail behind it, like, and it's weird stuff and fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, and Bigfoot, a lot of times when we see Bigfoot at night or we think he's around, of course, I haven't looked at him in the eyes yet, but there's always orbs. Sometimes
Mhm,
they're multicolored, sometimes they're just white, but always, almost
mhm.
always, we see the orbs. Remember, Heidi, when we stayed the night out at the research area that one time, we
Mhm.
saw orbs. Um,
Yep.
so I don't know.
And
Interesting.
that one
Yeah.
was moving in and out of the trees.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
blue and it
yeah.
was moving in and out of the trees when we were
Mhm.
watching it, and it tried and walked towards it, and it just kept moving away and in and out of the trees.
Yeah.
And
And it was
and
like the size of a
and
basketball,
wow. And
and
being
it
in
was
the
giving off
trees,
light.
that's not a drone.
Mm-mm. No, there was
And
no
it
one out there. There was no one out
No,
there.
and you could see the
It was.
light reflecting onto the trees from
Mhm.
the orb.
That's-
It was creating light.
Yes,
That's
that was
awesome.
that night that we tried to go live on Facebook, and somehow Baby Shark came on. I don't know who did what, but remember Baby
Yeah, that was
Shark, and then that's all we
disaster.
could sing all night long. Baby Shark,
That's
Shark.
terrible.
Anyway, I digress. There was a lot of crazy things that happened that night, but those orbs, yeah, that was pretty cool, you know. And we've seen them several times when we've been out at
Mhm.
night, so there is something to that, you know. There's a
Mhm.
lot of
Mhm.
orbs, though. Like I know in the paranormal field, we get a lot of people who send us pictures of orbs and, oh my gosh, look at all these orbs. And it's like, yeah, those are dust orbs. You know, you can tell there's a difference between dust orbs and water orbs and a true orb, you know, and
Mhm.
people who don't know the difference are like, oh my gosh, I must have something really terrible in my house. Look at this. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe you should dust or vacuum.
Yep.
We have to be
Sometimes.
nice. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then oftentimes too, you're like, well, is that just a lens flare? Is that just a, you know,
Mhm.
maybe you
Mhm.
dismiss what could
Yeah,
actually be something, you know,
it is true.
interesting like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um,
I do think there's a lot of things that are dismissed for something else, you know, or pareidolia. That's the common term. It's pareidolia stuff. And I'm like, no, it's not. This is not, you know, you can see it
Mhm.
happening, you know. But yeah, it's totally cool for sure. Those orb things are awesome when they're
Oh,
true.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and it's fun footage to find.
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, so orbs, Bigfoot. What else we got? So we're entering the spooky season
Hmm.
soon. People are starting to get, you know, the sim crew um gotten fielded a lot of questions, and we have a lot of stuff going on. Because it's that time of year, right? But we have a full schedule too, right? So we're busy. We are busy. And then we're still looking into, of course, all the cold cases, which Amy just posted another podcast episode for Martha Bacon. So her podcast site, we had her on in May, and her podcast site is aren'tyouthe.com. And I think it's episode 11. And it's Martha Bacon chapter 2 or second version or something. So I haven't listened to it yet. She just posted it on Facebook. So I will be listening to that because that's really fun. And what's interesting about that, you guys, is that I had my brother Joe, who is a retired detective out of Kansas City, and he used to be on the Metro Police Squad. And I mean, he knows everybody. And he was up a couple of months ago, and Jerry and I sat down with him with these cold cases and told them everything that we knew. And he was like, why didn't I know about this? I said, I don't think anybody knew about this. You know, back then the media wasn't everywhere. People didn't want to know, you know, and so he's looking into it. He's got some kind of experts looking into different things down there. So may never find anything, you know, like he said, you know, these cases are so old stuff. It's like, you know, but the due diligence was done for our missing girl. He said, you know, we had heard that they really didn't do anything. And he said, Steph, I went back. They had people on horseback riders looking for her. They had people this, there, and the other thing. And they did their due diligence. They just didn't find her. And I said, because she's in the lake.
Oh.
And I hope you find her. But, you know, it's been 50 years. He said, what do you think is going to be left? And I said, I don't know. I hope a bone maybe or something, a piece of jewelry or something maybe we can find. Their answer's there, you know, and the spirit has told us that there are two there. So I don't know if it's more than her, but I really do believe she's there. So we're going to get someone donated a water drone to us, and we're going to get that out there yet this year to see if we can see anything. You know, maybe
that
once
would be
the water
interesting.
clears up. We did go up there in the summer, but there's so much algae in the water in the summer. So, you know, maybe now when it's, you know, the fall and the water clears up just a little bit, we'll have a better view. But yeah, I just think that's the answer. But, you know, he was looking into all of it. It was really fun to work with him. Oh my gosh. I have pictures of him and Jerry sitting at the end of the table, and they were just, you know, going into it, you know, and he was like, just, this is the stuff, you know, you know, and I'm like, yeah. So anyway, it's kind of fun, you know, trying to get justice for our girls, you know, let's put it that way.
So does that underwater drone have a camera on it then?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So they control it. So I think Annie and her husband actually have been working it because they're really good with game controllers, right? So we gave it to them to figure it out. So it comes, I think they have it on their iPad, but you can use your phone too. And then it has whatever they're looking at, and you can record it or not, or take still pictures, and it's very cool. It's very cool.
That's
Jerry
awesome.
says we will never get up on those ladies. We won't. We're gonna, justice for those girls. We need to find out what happened to them. So that's our journey.
We
Part
had
of it.
another comment in there asking about where somebody could find your book, Heidi.
Yeah. So it was published through Balboa Press, and so you can find it on their website, and then you can also find it through Amazon, and I believe Barnes and Noble will have it as well. So you can just go on to any of those websites and put in the search bar My Spirit Experience. It should show up, and hopefully you like it. If you do, leave a comment or a review on it. Thank you.
Yeah. Did we lose Jason? I think we
I don't
missed
know.
him. I don't
It
know.
looks like he's spinning in the univerce there.
He is
He's
spinning in the universe.
He
I
looks
know.
like
It's
his
the
own
orb.
there.
It's the Trost orb.
He's become the orb.
I know. Well, so did you have anything else, Heidi? I know that we kind of glossed over things because we talked about a lot of things tonight.
No, that was it. I was busy this weekend with my retreat, and then the book and everything that's been fun and crazy.
Yeah.
So, that's all I had.
Very cool. Yeah. And so I know we're getting into the busy season for both of us. Usually we don't, but Sim has like so many things going on this year. It's like, oh my God, it's crazy. Like next weekend, several of us from the Sim crew are going to Iowa. We have a couple of different investigations. So we'll be live. You'll have to watch us because we got a couple of different locations, and we'll be live on our Facebook page. Not everybody's going, but a bunch of us, the girls really, well, I mean, we're all girls except Jerry. It's Jerry and the girls. But not the whole team.
We were actually just in Iowa too at the Paracon at the Train Museum.
Oh, yeah. That's what you said.
It was fun. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a nice drive. Not too far.
No, not like, driving to San Juan Island, for example, but yeah, right. No, it'll be fun. Jerry's staying home with all my fur babies once again, poor guy. And he didn't want to go anyway. He didn't want to go. He says that's his excuse, but no, he just didn't want to go. So he's leaving it up to the girls. So that's cool. So I guess that's it for this Paranormal Smorgasbord. It's been a fun time. We're almost 30 minutes in, so I guess it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm down here. I kind of had a technical issue there, so
yeah,
I'm back to my little icon.
We said it was the Trost orb spinning.
Yeah, we like it turned into your orb.
Yep, without the texture.
Yes, exactly. So
awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for watching tonight, and for the troops who might be watching us, be safe, and thank you so much for your service. We so appreciate you.
Yes, and thanks everybody for joining us in the chat room tonight. And if you want to follow us on either Facebook or YouTube, please do. And we'll be back next week actually with Jill Shelley from the Boyd House, and we'll be talking to her. She has an upcoming Paracon, so we're going to talk to her next week, so tune into that. And Jason, thanks for producing our show and Cryptovania TV. We are so glad to be here and be with you guys, and thank you everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah,
awesome. All right, good night everybody.